Good morning, culés. It is time to wake up and Barca, live Barcelona news coming at you from the undefeated Mustache John YouTube channel right here, right now. We are live covering Barcelona's 1-1 draw versus Espanyol. We'll be talking about what was good, what was bad, what was Barca, and of course we'll be giving out the Mustache Man of the Match in the good, the bad, and the Barca recap. Espanyol, Barcelona 1-1. I want to get your thoughts, your opinions, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be part of the conversation with your fellow culés on today's episode of Wake Up and Barca. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Good morning. Happy Monday. This is the last day of my vacation from my normal day job. So we are going a little bit late today. It's just after 11 a.m. here on the eastern side of the United States. We will be getting back to our regular time, 7 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be starting Wednesday, all right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back to our regular schedule. There'll be some changes here and there, so make sure you have the notifications turned on for when that occurs. Excuse me. But for the most part, getting back to 7 a.m. Eastern. Let me quickly turn to the chat, say my hellos to the Stash Squad, and then we're going to jump over and we're going to be diving right in to the good, the bad, and the Barca with a little match review for Barcelona versus Espanyol. First and foremost, terrible job on the graphics. The match is all about the referee, and you didn't even use the right image. This is not from the match against Espanyol, and Barcelona's badge should have been first because they were the home team. Dum-dums. Anyway, ESPN, just saying. Anyway, I digress. Let me see who's in the chat here with us. I see Fabrice is going to be watching on replay. If you're catching this right now, Fabrice, hello. Thanks for popping in and saying good morning. Alex, hello, sir. Mentioning that Xavi made the team train on their day off. Yes, we're going to be discussing that. Harry, good morning, sir. We got Sahil in the house. We got my stash mod, Ayush, hello. Orlando Benitez Lopez. Love the name. Good morning to you. How we doing? Only Juan in the house. Love to see it. We got a lot of the regulars. Harry, if I didn't say hello yet, good morning. The Hat Kid, what's up, buddy? We got Nightbot, of course, keeping you animals in line. Mike Aragon, how we doing? Nishit, not sure what that means. Hopefully it's not a bad word. Good to see you. Hello. All right. I see people are already expressing their opinions in the chat. We're going to get going on the match review, and then we'll get the discussion going. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your opinions, okay? So if you're watching live, keep the chat going. We're going to dive into the overview. If you're watching on replay, leave your comments down below. I read them. I see them. Sometimes I reply back. If I enjoy what you said, I'll click the little heart there. So make sure you're leaving your comments. This is about participating in the conversation, connecting with your fellow culés. This is your opportunity to do so. All right. With all that out of the way, my friends. Barcelona 1-1 versus Espanyol. This was definitely a tale of two halves. Barcelona dominant throughout, but first half in particular, a lot of possession, a lot of shots, just struggling to find the back of the net outside of Marcos Alonso getting that goal in the 7th minute. That was a corner. Lewandowski missed it. Christensen heads it from the far post back across the face, finds Christensen. Yeah, Christensen to Christensen. Dum-dum. John, use your words. Christensen finds Alonso, who heads it into the back of the net. And Alonso had a pretty good game. We'll talk more about that later on. But 73rd minute. This was, I believe I said, a Langley-esque type of penalty. I believe it was Alonso. It could have been Christensen. I forget now. It's been a couple of days. But one of the two. I think it was Alonso. Just with no intention, eye on the ball, steps on the back heel of Joselu for Espanyol, leads to a penalty. He sinks it. First goal that Barcelona have given up at the Camp Nou this season. We still have yet to concede in open play, but we did give one up in the 73rd, leveling things at 1-1. And because we had such a disastrous second half, it was all downhill from there, including Jordi Alba getting a red card, which we will be talking more about that later. Okay. Souza for Espanyol ended up getting a red card as well. So it was 10v10. But anyway, I digress. Let's look at the stats here. 21 shots for Barcelona, 6 on on target. Got to do better. Absolutely must do better than that. I've been saying this for the better part of 2 years because it was the same problem under Koeman. A lot of shots, not a lot of quality from those shots, not really testing the keeper, missed opportunities for Barcelona. We see the hot and cold under Xavi. Sometimes we do what we're supposed to do, sometimes we don't. And that's what happened this time. 21 shots, 6 on target. Got to do better than that. 78% possession, 640 passes, 91% passing accuracy. That's all great, but we're not getting the goals that we need. 10 corners? Come on. Ironically, we did get a goal off of one of those corners and nothing off of the open play. But with 10 corners, give me more goals. Give me more goals than the one sloppy one that was not really as intended, okay? Here's the good news, folks, before we dive into the good, the bad, and the Barça from this match. The good news is that Barcelona, despite dropping points, are still top of the table. That is because of the goal differential. We're plus 28. Real Madrid is plus 21. We are both level on 38 points, having played 15 matches. We've given up our wiggle room, okay? There's no more room for error here. We're going to be playing Madrid in the spring. Chances are that match is going to decide the champion of La Liga. It's going to be between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Again, looking at the table, Sociedad way behind, Atletico Madrid way behind, Athletic Club, Real Betis way behind. It's Real Madrid, it's Barcelona, and there's everybody else. Okay? So, without getting too far into things, that's what it's going to come down to. The spring fixture between Barcelona and Real Madrid. We just have to maintain and not drop points against these lesser teams until then. We do have a pretty tough upcoming January month of fixtures, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it just fine. Now, here's the thing. That's the good news, right? Back to the bad news. I was going to say not a great performance, but I'll go as far as to say, nah, it's not that dramatic. A bad second half. Okay, we had a bad second half. Xavi knows it. Xavi reacted in this way. He says Xavi's going to train. He's going to have the men train today despite having been given the day off initially. This was yesterday on the 1st. So day after the match, you were supposed to have the day off, taken it away. The coach isn't happy with the way Barca competed yesterday, and I got to agree. Have to agree. Other talking points from the match. Espanyol are now post-match trying to file an official complaint with the Spanish FA about Lewandowski's presence in the derby. They are demanding that Barcelona forfeit the match. Here's the thing, folks. If Lewandowski doesn't play in that match, we probably win it. Lewandowski had more chances than anybody in front of goal, could not take advantage, could not find the back of the net. So, Espanyol, I wish you would have made this case ahead of time and Lewandowski could have sat, because he clearly left his shooting boots in Qatar somewhere. Did not bring them to the Camp Nou with him against Espanyol. Pretty disappointed. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. I want to dive into the good, the bad, and the Barça. Now that we've done the match overview of Barcelona versus Espanyol, let's talk a little bit more details, discuss what was good, what was bad, what was Barcelona, meaning what represented the badge, what was true to Barcelona's DNA, and then who gets the mustache man of the match for their performance versus Espanyol. Starting off, of course, with what was good about the match, as we change our lights to the good lighting. I liked seeing Frankie de Jong in that pivot role. I call it out just about every time Xavi goes with the lineup of Frankie, Gavi, and Pedri. Love to see Frankie given the opportunity to play in that pivot role as the solo pivot, because internationally he plays as a dual pivot. So playing for Barcelona is the only time that he gets to have that experience. And every time he has the experience, he seems to take another step forward. In this match in particular, Frankie de Jong not super involved, but that's okay. If Frankie de Jong isn't the primary focus, if things aren't flowing through Frankie, that's actually a good sign for Barcelona. That means that he's able to stay positionally where he needs to be to break up the counterattacks. He's making the small passes to keep the ball moving. He shouldn't be the primary playmaker when we have the likes of Pedri, Gavi, Ansu, Rafinha on the pitch. Okay, so liking what I saw from Frankie de Jong there. But I want to call out more specifically what's going to get the good box here today. Jules Koundé playing at right back. just for being back, being fit, being healthy. I want to point out how good that is for Barcelona to have a healthy Jules Koundé. We did see Roberto get the start, but Koundé came off the bench, and you saw the difference immediately on the defensive side. Attacking wise, second half, Barcelona, no. But defensively for Barcelona, love seeing Jules Koundé out there. Love that he's back, fit, healthy, and he gets the good box just for being back. Just to put a smile on our faces, coming back from the World Cup, fit, ready to go. I assume he will be starting in the next match. Now that's what was good. Talk about what was bad, okay? There was quite a few things. I mentioned Lewandowski's finishing already. What are you doing, my man? I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's just not having that sharpness, having a little bit of a break for Poland because they didn't make it out of the group stage. So a little bit of time off, a couple of weeks there. Maybe just lacking that match fitness, that sharpness, that goal scoring, that poacher instinct. But Lewandowski, bad finishing. Overall, bad finishing. What was it? 21 shots, 6 on target. Don't like it. Ansu Fati really didn't do much. Rafinha really didn't do much. So front line of the starting 11 could have been thrown in the bad box. But there was worse. There was worse to discuss. The referee, of course, LAHOZ. Garbage referee. He's got a reputation for wanting to be the center of attention, for wanting the focus to be on him. He was giving out yellows and reds like they were holiday Christmas cards or something like that. Like it was just raining yellow cards throughout the match. He had no control. Miserable. But here's the thing, folks. For as bad as that was, we should know how to handle that. It's not our first time being refereed by LAHOZ. This is not the first time that he's been stirring the pot. This is not the first time that he's seemingly been against Barcelona. For somebody like Jordi Alba, who is a veteran, has played matches time and time again under, I'll say, poor refereeing, you should know better, Jordi Alba. You should know better than to talk your way into 2 yellow cards leading to a red, which will get you sent off, of course, and leave us down a man. Thankfully, Espanyol followed suit and had someone sent off themselves. But Jordi Alba, you got to know better. Not just for talking your way into a red card, but the performance overall. As soon as we saw the substitution where Balde came on, Jordi Alba sent off. I forget who was sacrificed for Balde to come on. But as soon as we saw Balde come on, you saw the difference, particularly in the attack. So that's immediate transition. We changed the lighting over to what was Barça. Alejandro Balde gets the Barça box. Didn't get the start, should have gotten the start. Love what I'm seeing from Balde. Really impressed, particularly on the attack, with his ability to dribble past his opponents. Loving it. He is truly stepping up and becoming that representative of Barcelona. He is the left back of the future. Hands down, no questions asked. I got no problem putting all of my eggs in the Alejandro Balde basket. I'm down with that. Continuing on with our left backs. However, this is a man who filled in at center back and got the 1 goal for Barcelona. The mustache man of the match this time around for Barcelona Espanyol is Marcos Alonso. We're talking about a new contract, extending his current one, which I do believe expires at the end of this season. Marcos Alonso comes in on a free. Everyone going, what is going on? We've got Jordi Alba. We've got Balde. Turns out, despite the depth that we have at center back, Marcos Alonso's had to step up due to injury, due to lack of consistency from some players like Eric Garcia. We're seeing Marcos Alonso being called upon, being asked to do a bit more than what was initially thought of. And you know what? He's stepping up. Yes, he has his errors. Yes, he has his flubs. But you know what? In today's match, again, we needed him. We stepped up. He got the goal, did what he needed to do on the defensive side. I'll hear your arguments, okay? But Marcos Alonso gets the mustache man of the match, which concludes the good, the bad, and the Barça. We've got Koundé in the good, Jordi Alba in the bad, Alejandro Balde in the Barça, Marcos Alonso in the mustache man of the match. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong. What would you change? What do you agree with? What are your thoughts on the good, the bad, and the Barça? If you're watching on replay, let me know down in the comments. If you're watching live, I'm going to turn now to the chat, see what your thoughts are, get your opinions, and we'll go from there, folks. We will go from there. Let's see here. Ovi says, by the way, Happy New Year, guys, and Happy New Year, Sensei. Happy New Year to you, Ovi, and everyone in the Stash Squad. Hope everyone enjoyed a nice holiday. Fresh start. I know we're in the dead of winter, so it's kind of weird, but start planning for your spring. I know we're digressing now, but start planning for your spring. Spring is really when you get to unleash all of the new thoughts, the new you, so to speak. But wintertime, it's a time for reflection. It's a time for being mindful of what was good, bad, and ugly about the previous year, and where do you want to change for this upcoming year. All right, so just Happy New Year to you all, and a little food for thought. Anyway, I digress. Harry says, bad should have been Lewandowski and Dembele's finishing, LAHOZ, and VAR. Yeah, I question the red card that was rescinded for Espanyol. I'm thinking it should have been two. Brian says, I hope we win Copa del Rey. I always enjoy it. Absolutely. We'll talk more about Copa del Rey here in a bit. Harry says, Uncle John, I think our best attacker on Saturday was Rafinha. He had the spark, ran into good positions, and most of his shots were on target. The rest were invisible. Yeah, probably. I don't think I can disagree with that. I mean, Lewandowski's finishing was bad. I've already said that. Ansu Fati not involved enough throughout the match. Harry says, man of the match for me was De Jong or Alonso. Akos says, 100% agree. We can't blame the referee. You got to know how to deal with that, right? It's not the first time that we've had him referee our matches and have a negative influence. You got to be able to deal with those circumstances. Excuse me. Scrolling through here. Sahil says, why has no one raised the questions on our finishing apart from all other things? I believe I did address that. Our finishing has been quite poor. Zane says, can't believe we were discussing about Lewandowski's finishing. Who would have thought? I know. Didn't think that was going to be an issue, but it is. Ayush says, Rafinha needs to work on his finishing a bit. Rafinha does, Dembele does, Ansu does, Lewandowski does. Everybody's got to work on their finishing. Everybody got to work on their finishing. Connor, what's up, brother? How we doing? That kid says, Alba, Busi, Roberto might be good for easy matches. Now that Balde, Christensen, De Jong, Koundé, Alonso can play in those positions. Sure. My hair's still a little bit wet from showering there earlier. Anyway, I need to wash my hair. A little bit dirty and grimy. Anyway. Other thoughts, folks, on the good, the bad, the Barça. Does anybody have, I know we got one vote for Frankie de Jong. Anybody else have different thoughts on who should get the mustache man of the match? Final call for thoughts on the match before we jump over and talk about a couple of other things happening in the Barcelona world. Forza Barça says Fati lost his performance since the injuries. He does seem to just be lacking that spark, unfortunately. Harry says Dembele needs to work on his teamwork and be less selfish. I don't think it's a question of being selfish. It's about making the decision earlier. I think he takes one or two extra dribbles sometimes, not all the time. You got to think about the number of assists he's been racking up over the last 18 months, which is a lot. So I don't think it's necessarily selfish, but I think what you are picking up on there is that he's a little bit too hesitant. He's not making the decisive decision early enough, in my opinion. Brian says, is Copa del Rey on the 4th? Well, let's take a look, actually. Let's go over to Barcelona fixtures. Take a look at what we have going on here. Yes, indeed. That's coming up on Wednesday, 3 o'clock. It gets Intercity. I imagine we're going to have sort of a B squad for that one because we should be able to beat Intercity, no problem. And we have Atletico Madrid coming up on Sunday. We got to travel to Atletico, take them on Sunday, January 8th at 3 o'clock. We'll definitely be doing a live watch along for that one. I don't think we're going to be doing the Copa del Rey on the 4th. Keep an eye out. I may drop something. We'll see. But we've got we've got a big January coming up. Atletico on the 8th, Supercopa on Thursday the 12th. That's going to be a big one. Semi-final against Betis. Lots of action coming up here for the Blaugrana. Ayush says, Frankie, I believe, should have gotten mustache man of the match because Alonso also gave away the penalty. Yes, and I was waiting for those arguments. I can't blame Alonso for that penalty. Wasn't looking to make contact or even go in on a challenge. Eye on the ball. It's, like I said, Langley-esque type penalty. So I hear you. And Frankie de Jong is a good shout, I think, for the mustache man of the match, of course. Harry says, Sensei, thoughts on who you'd want to get free agent-wise? I think Indika and Mukoko would be amazing. And yeah, I agree with what you said about Dembele. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to bring in anybody in January. I don't think we're going to make any signings. There's not any significant rumors going on. I think we got a little bit lucky last January, bringing in Aubameyang, bringing in, who else? Was it Ferran Torres last January as well? He was the January before that. He was the January before that, right? Right? Yeah, we got Aubameyang. We got, why am I blanking now? I'm staring right at Adama. Who else came in January? We signed like 4 players in January. It was Ferran in January? Okay. My timelines get so mixed up sometimes. But yeah, Ferran would have been last January. Ferran, Aubameyang, Adama. Who else came over? Dani Alves. Alves, Adama, Alba, and Ferran. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Max, what's up, brother? Says, I think Lua was surprised he didn't have too much training or match sharpness. Yeah, fair. Okay. A couple other things to discuss, folks. This is bad news for Barcelona fans. Gennaro Gattuso, Valencia's manager, says Nico will undergo surgery in Barcelona, and he's going to be out for around 3 months. That's no bueno. So we're talking January, February, March. That's the better part of the season. He might as well just come back to Barcelona, right? He'll have a couple months left where he could return to Valencia. I say we just cancel his loan, bring him back, let him get a little bit of playing time towards the end of the season, prep him for a summer training camp. We'll get a good look at him and decide what we want to do there. But either way, bad news for Nico, bad news for Barcelona fans. I don't think he was getting a lot of playing time at Valencia either way, but this, of course, sends it down to 0 for the next 3 months. So bad news for Nico and Barcelona fans. Last piece of news for today, my friends. Barcelona looking at a new kit for next season. This has been apparently leaked. This was tweeted out by Barça Center. We take a look at it. It's pretty close to the 2017 kit, I believe. If we look at Barcelona 2000, I believe it was 16, 17. Yeah. Perfect. What a memory. What a memory I've got on me. How many clicks until I get to the picture? There we go. Pretty close. Pretty close there to the 2017, right? It'll have a slightly different texture and pattern, but pretty close. I like this. I like this a lot. This is, of course, slightly different than what we got going on here. A little bit darker mode for this season. If this is true, this gets us back to those lighter shades of the Blaugrana, which I'm a huge fan of. Big fan, actually. I like this. Honestly, I'd give this. Man, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I was debating between an 8 and a 9. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. It's a classic look, but with a modern feel. It's not too fancy. It's true to the traditional Blaugrana colors. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Big fan if this is true. So a couple questions. One, do you think this leak is accurate? Do you think it's true? Should we be getting hyped about this? And two, what would you rate this out of 10? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Again, if you're watching it on replay, let me know in the comments. If you're watching live, keep the conversation going in the chat. I want to know your thoughts on this potentially leaked Barcelona 23-24 kit. Let me know, folks. Brian says, what a beautiful kit. Gives good memories. Harry says, Uncle John, thoughts on the managing Barca tweet 18, 19 hour-ish ago where we need to get rid of 200 million from our wage budget. I have not heard that yet. I'll look into it and we'll talk about it on Wednesday. How about that? If there are rumors that we need to clear more room on our salary or anything like that, we'll talk about that on Wednesday's episode of Wake Up and Barca. How about that? Harry says 9 out of 10. Beautiful kit. Ayer says the leaks are probably accurate. We got every kit right last year. That is true. There was some slight tweaks, but right around this time when the kit started coming out and being leaked, that is accurate. Sahil says 8 out of 10. I like it. Ovi says I like the Serena kit, but I just think that just the concept of 4 kits is cursed for us. Just go back for the last and even the season. We lost most our games in these special kits. Yeah, it's a cash grab when you do the La Serena kits, the El Clasico kits. It's just a cash grab. So I'm not a big fan of it. I like having home kit, away kit, and a rarely used third kit just when there's a complete color clash. That's what I'm a fan of. Anyway. But yeah, I like it. I like this one, folks. I like it a lot. All right. I think that is going to just about do it. We talked about Barcelona Espanyol. We did the good, the bad, and the Barca. We talked about excuse me, Espanyol trying to get Barcelona to forfeit the match through an appeal over the Lewandowski issue. Talked about Nico being injured. And of course, we took a look at the potentially leaked 23-24 kit for Barcelona. That is going to do it for today. We're going to do another episode on Wednesday. We'll do a little match preview for the upcoming El Clasico match against Intercity. I don't know anything about that team, and I'm sure you don't either. So tune in Wednesday morning. We'll be live 7 a.m. Eastern. Convert it for your time zone from around the world. I know we got culés from all over the globe watching. I appreciate you coming and spending your time with me. I see we still got some more ratings coming in. I'm seeing 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 for this new kit. Love it. I appreciate you all participating in the chat, driving the conversation, connecting with your fellow culés. That's what we do here. Support the badge, support each other. I will see you Wednesday morning for Wake Up and Barca. I love you all very much. Go out there and do positive things. High fives and hugs for whoever wants them. And I'll catch you next time right here on the Undefeated channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.